What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? It is May 21st, 11 a.m. in Miami, 8 a.m. in Los Angeles, 9 a.m. here in San Jose, Costa Rica. You're watching Betting with the Bag. Hats off to the Golden State Warriors. Unbelievable. 17-point deficit with a minute 55 left. I mean, do we celebrate the Warriors or do we shit on the Blazers? Regardless, Steph Curry needs to be rewarded, needs to be recognized. That was unbelievable. He played the best I've ever seen him play in this series. 2 teammates with triple doubles. I don't even know what Steph was. They didn't even offer Steph as a triple double. The only triple double they offered was Draymond. That was plus 350. We talked about that with Max Senpai. Everything that could have gone wrong sort of went wrong for me there. The 7-run comeback by the Mariners so that I don't get the run line. And then the Blazers falling apart and then being so wrong about Chris Paddock. A lot of, there was a small schedule, small amount of games. And I still managed to get my tonsil splashed. And I need to get it back today. And hopefully you guys could lead me there. All I need to do is fucking tail Matt Randall's Taint play of the day. And I didn't yesterday, which was a huge mistake. Look at our guy, Matt Randall. But first off, let's give respect to Demetris Miller. First in the chat, this guy showing exceptional hustle. Demetris Miller in the house. We got Matt Randall says, good morning, Lowbag Nation. Taint play of the day smash yesterday. I hope you all tailed New York, Baltimore over 9.5. 31, 10-1. 10-1 after a loss. God, Matt Randall. You know, let's celebrate Steph Curry and let's celebrate Matt Randall. They are both doing phenomenal jobs for their team. And I need to just blindly tail the Taint play of the day. Man, what a mess yesterday ended up being. And it looked like it was going to be okay. Got the Phillies, fortunately. Man, that could have been an 0-5 day yesterday. Oh, God! Northside Gambling Channel in the house. We got Luis Chavez Miranda ready to go. Brandon Lugo. My guy, Paulo Marquez. Back in action. Andy Harris getting paid. I like seeing that. Jeff Joseph ready to go. DJ Big Boss will be on the late show with me today. Love DJ Big Boss so much. We got Art Hayes. Art Hayes. And there it is. There's the Taint play of the day. KC St. Louis over 9. 17-mile-per-hour winds out to left. St. Louis bats smash Homer Bailey. Some KC bats have had good success against Waka. Waka's looked terrible all year. Over 9 is the Taint. And you hope the rain doesn't cancel the game. That is a copy and paster. We have the Taint play of the day. We have the Taint play of the day. I tried to get an actual Taint in the back of the picture, but I was not allowed. The higher up said enough's enough with the Taint. We don't want to see it. That's that. Carlos Peroge in the house. We got Xavier Oliver. Nutflush Allen. Adam Beanstalk ready to rock. Jimmy Legs 06. Tomarino Tomor. Bleds W. Ben Sports 24/7. Gerardo Hernandez. Brian Watson. Walla Walla Dose. Serious Business. Alex Malbury. Elio. Antoine Seymour. Jay Stanley Sports. Coco Bongo. Ferry says hello from Germany. Thank you for joining us. Tomarino Tomor says Real Muto is finally hitting for the Phillies. How dangerous could they be if he starts rolling? How dangerous. Very dangerous. Antoine Seymour, Cove Coleon. Why not for Greg 21s? And he's saying he thinks it's going to be canceled for safety. Wow. Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you for letting us know. Why not? Hunter Engelhart. First time viewing live. Hunter Engelhart, thank you for joining us. Hunter joining us live. All right. Northside Gambling Channel says Golden State babyface assassin. He certainly was. Bleds W says, I told you Baltimore first 5 and Cubs first 5. That was nice. Very, very nice work on Baltimore especially. Art Hayes says Taint, a.k.a. the Cappers Crack. And Alex Ramirez cashed again with despite both those play of the days you guys are just destroying with. Jay Stanley Sports says Phillies was a fun win. I can't believe how close I really came from 0-5. Jimmy Leg says plus 900 on bucks. Okay, so this is the schedule. Oh, and Tomer went 3-0 in NBA. Hit first half over. Portland full game. Golden State second half. Great work. Brian Clark ready to go. Farouk Islam ready to rock. Von Polo. Wow, I said he hammered the Warriors money line last night when they were down 15. I did that in game 3. Well, didn't hammer it. What am I saying? Didn't hammer it. I just needed a little bit of extra money for Tango India, so I put $50 on the Warriors at plus 350. Just a bit. So I can't say hammer. $50 bet is not a hammer. Hunter Engelhardt says, love your Rockies play as well. I'm going to get on the first half. Just my book wasn't offering it, so I didn't want to make an official play and not be able to bet it. But we'll fix that. Nutflush Allen says, Jimmy Kinnon's asking if you want to cheer for the Warriors parade. He's right. It certainly looks like that's going to be the case. Vaughn Bridges saying Miami, Detroit underplay of the day. I'm going to copy and paste Vaughn Bridges. Okay, let's quickly, and we have a new contest, new DJ Big Boss contest popping up this week. And there's Angel Romero, our expert, our soccer expert. Love seeing him here. Okay, Robbie Tops is on Boston, Colorado, Arizona, Atlanta. That's a copy and paste. Oh, and then there's Tomino says, people who criticize Green don't understand. He certainly does give their team enormous toughness. He's a hell of a player. Clarence Souza in the house is aloha from Hawaii. Ron Howlett says, go Sharks, please. I need that so bad. Poker Addicted ready to rock says, happy Homer Bailey to everyone. Young Huss joining us ready to go. Okay, a couple things here. We're going to be joined by Parlay Poppy in 2 minutes. So I know he's going to want to talk about NHL. And we have a giant baseball card that we're going to be focusing on all day. We are going to have Ski Profit joining our late show. And let's just briefly touch on Bucks Raptors for a couple minutes before we bring in our guy Parlay Poppy. And then Drew Martin's going to join us in 36 minutes. And that's how we're going to do the morning show. And then we're going to hammer baseball that much harder on the late show and then be joined by Ski Profit. So Angel Romero says, have plus 375 Romanian soccer game, bro. Really good game to throw a small bet on. That sounds great. Jay Stanley says, is Carlson back from the Sharks tonight? We don't want him back. Don't come back. Sit on the bench. Stay home. Stay in San Jose. Rest your hamstring. We don't want him back. He's hurting. We need all hands on deck that are healthy. If he's sick, we don't want him. I do not want to see Carlson on the ice tonight. This is a game where everybody has to give it 100%. And if you're not capable of doing it, stay home. I do not want to see Carlson on the ice. And, Manuel says, I have a meeting to go do, my friends. If the Taint gets canceled, I will try to hit Jimmy up on Twitter before the late show with the new Taint. I have a backup plan. What a guy, Matt Randall. What a guy. What a guy. Okay, quickly. Let's just quickly look at what the market has done with the Bucks Raptors game. Money just coming in on the Bucks. Money coming in on the Bucks. Toronto opens at plus 115. They are now plus 133. Interestingly enough, Bet365, the Canadian, or the book that Canadians use more than any other book, is at plus 115. I'm sure that's Canadian money doing that. Let's take a look at spreads and totals. Man, I could have had the Blazers plus 3.5 last night, but no! No, I did not. I wanted the money line. The total opened at 220. It's been hammered down, especially at Bet365 where it's 216. Milwaukee's a 3-point favorite everywhere. 3.5 at Bovada, but just 2 at Bet365. You know, I need to I'm going to check this out, make sure that, because Bet365 has been a little wonky on SBR odds lately. Let me just make sure that is exactly the case here. There we go. That is not the case. So it's plus 130, and it's a 3-point spread, and it's 217.5. So I don't know what's been going on with our feed there, but I will get them to look into it. Okay, let's talk about this spot and then bring in Parlay Poppy. First off, Giannis Antetokounmpo being defended by everybody. Mainly Kawhi, who's done a nice job on him. Kawhi played 52 minutes. I'm so scared that Kawhi is going to get hurt. I just feel like we're asking him to do too much. And there's Eric Jones. I was thinking about you. He said, what did I tell you all about overtime? I was thinking about you, Eric. Tomarino says Siakam is attacking Giannis now. He's making Giannis work and getting him in foul trouble. I think Toronto wins game 3 comfortably, or game 4, I'm sure you're saying. If Lowry doesn't, I think Toronto wins game 3 comfortably if Lowry doesn't foul out. Van Fleet has been horrible. Van Fleet got us a big basket. Yo-Yo Street says Giannis wasn't trying in that game. And there's King Rail on the Bucks minus 2.5 route. Port Wando on the Bucks minus 2. Gerardo Hernandez says Bucks now minus 3. Art Hayes says add Bailey to your fade list. Tomino says Toronto's getting the calls at home. The 6th foul on Giannis was a 50-50 call. The NBA wants a longer series with Golden State. I agree that probably should have been a Siakam charge on that 6th foul. Brandon Lugo says Bucks roll tonight. And King Rail says Bucks are going to take off on Raps tonight. Well, Norm Powell has been spectacular. And there's the Romanian soccer play from our guy Angel Romero. Botasani money line plus 365, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. I like it. Now, Art Hayes is with King Rail. I think money is going to keep coming in on the Bucks. If I want the Raptors, I can wait. Poker Addictor said, I think Ski knows Toronto will come out with purpose and be overcome by the end. My guess is he's on Toronto first quarter. That makes sense. Norm Powell's been spectacular. We want him to start over Danny Green. Kawhi Leonard says he's good to go. I know everyone saw him limping. Kawhi had the same amount of field goals as Antetokounmpo, Middleton, and Bledsoe combined. Middleton and Bledsoe shot 3 for 16. And there's Ski Profit. Yup, if Bucks lose another game, they really fucked up. I hear that. Ski will be joining us on the Late Show. I want to take the Raptors, and I mean, at this plus money at home, I really don't see how I wouldn't. Daryl Lyles taking the 3 points, but for this opportunity for the Raptors, we're going crazy up there in Toronto. And Antetokounmpo, we're defending him better than any team has defended him all year. We have a whole bunch of guys. We're doing it by committee, and it's working. Tomor talked about Siakam. I talked about Kawhi. Even when Norm Powell was on him, it was good. I'm going to take the Raptors on the money line, but I expect more money to come in on the Bucks. If I wanted it right now, I could get plus 135 at 5 dimes. We'll see if I can get better than that. And I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. But I added another L to my NBA record. Could you pop the NBA record up there, Rafa? Thank you. And we'll move on. Tomino says Leonard wants to prove he's a top 5 player. I don't see him wearing down. He had 20 games off during the regular season. I hope that's the case. And there's Dave LA with his action. And there's MVP Sports Picks. Got Stooch now. I'm going to copy and paste Dave LA's sports picks, or Dave LA's action. It's KC St. Louis over 9 minus 115. So he's on the Taint play today. A's Indians over 8.5 at minus 110. D-backs money line minus 110. Dodgers minus 1 at minus 115. And Rockies money line at minus 110. And Antoine Seymour says, fade everyone. Raptors money line. Let's go, Jimmy. Okay, that gives me hope. That gives me hope. Okay, well, let's bring in our guy, Parlay Poppy. The people have been asking for more Poppy. That's what the people have been asking. They've been asking for more Poppy. Maybe we'll see if we can get him to join us for a little more action than just Tuesdays. But he's here right now, live and in person. Parlay Poppy, Tuesday morning, coming to us live from Los Angeles, California. How are you doing today, my guy?
I shall give the people what they want. I'm here. It is Tuesday. Turn Up Tuesday. I'm excited, man. This is a wonderful NHL game we got going on. Also, big props to you, Jimmy the Bag. Your insightfulness on these giant animal races. Me and Skeet cashed some buck, and big shout out to my LA guys. Skeet Profit, unbelievable, and Mr. DJ Big Boss, who tried to tell me about horse racing. Didn't understand one fucking saying you said, but we did make some bucks. To the low baggers who RSVP'd and didn't show up. What the fuck is going on, dudes? Good things. There's always another one going on next month. Say what's up, come visit us. And what's popping, Jimmy? Let's get to it.
I'm happy you guys cashed. By far the best part of the capping was saying that the favorite had no use to be in any of your tickets. And that was great work. Matt Bernier picked the winner. I did not. I was a taint hair away from hitting the exacta. But Owen Dale did show a lot. And the best part of all of our capping was saying just an improbable goes down to 2-1 because of Batford and Smith. That was the best part of all the capping for sure. When you can do that in the horse race, you're set up to win cash, and I did not win enough. Very disappointing. Okay, let's get to work. Let's talk about this NHL game. So 2 games ago, or even last week when we talked, Jones was playing as well as Binnington, and maybe he's not playing that much worse. But now Binnington's got a 2.44 goals against and a 912 save percentage. Martin Jones now has a 2.96 goals against, 902 save percentage. Another thing that's happened, without talking about the injuries, is the Blues power play is now at 16.7%. Their shorthanded has improved a bit, 31 for 40, 77.5%. But we talked about it after game 1. St. Louis was physically abusing the Sharks, and we said that was going to pay off late in the series, and clearly it has. Now, Donskoy is good to go. He's not on the injury report. But will we see Pavelski? I hope we don't see Carlson. And will we see Hurdle? If we don't see these guys, is the series over? The Sharks went into Vegas and won Game 6 of that first-round series. But that was a healthy Sharks team, and this is not a healthy Sharks team. Let's quickly look at what we're getting with spreads and totals here. Money keeps coming in on the Blues. This is the biggest favorite that any team's been in the series. At Bookmaker, it's all the way up to minus 170. And the total at 5.5 is slightly juiced towards the under. Poppy, what's your move? What's your feel on this game?
Jim, you got to feel a little nervous with those Sharks futures, right?
I hedged them. People said that was a mistake. I cashed on the Blues in game 4. Now, by not hedging, game 5 was clearly a bet on the Sharks, even though I didn't bet one, but that's what I was doing. That was a mistake. I have $200 on the Sharks at plus 200. I made that an official play on the show. With the Sharks futures are almost, I expect them to lose. I'm expecting them to lose. I don't know how I couldn't with the injuries that the Sharks have.
Right. Well, God bless, and hopefully something miraculous happened, because we got to remember they got to win 3 games, and there's been no team to win 3 7-game series since the 2014 Kings, and that's throughout the last 30 years or so. We got to look at that game, and I feel bad. I feel bad for the Sharks. I think that these guys are tired. They're old. They have their fast skaters off the ice. What's really the case? I think that the only thing I can take positive away from that game is that St. Louis had 8 power plays and they only made 1 goal. And the Sharks, clearly showing frustration, almost spent an entire period in the penalty box. That's crazy. The game ends up 5-0. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I still don't believe in Martin Jones, and he's only had a couple quality saves this whole season. Yeah, he's been this whole series. He's been playing good. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, he's got some shit that's going in that should not be going in. I can't make a case for the Sharks. They're getting fucking manhandled. They're getting straight filleted, about to be sent to McDonald's to get fried up by DJ Big Boss into a fish sandwich. I don't know what they're gonna do. You have everybody on St. Louis healthy and rolling. You have guys like Couture, Kane, Thornton, Burns. Where are these guys? They're disappearing at. It's one game or it's not. It's one game or it's not. There's no consistency. And with these injuries, I've been saying since the beginning, Karlsson should not have even been in the series. I don't care that he got a fake hand basket toss handball goal in the net. That wasn't the difference maker in the game. The Sharks have benefited from 3 penalties. I believe that three ridiculous calls for the other side, that they are so lucky. They had 3 chances, and those chances are up. I don't see that there's any way to take the Sharks. They are an unhealthy group who gave it everything, not taking anything away from them, but they got nothing going on. The only way that they can win is by all these stars stepping up. Couture, Kane, Thornton, Burns, and they're not. And now that they have a lot of offensive problems, I don't see that there's going to be anything happening. The only way they can do it is playing lockdown, but they're hurting. And I think that the fact that I tried so hard to make a case for any type of side with the Sharks, and I just can't. I think I got to go here with St. Louis -1, and I got that at like plus 115 or something early today, or last night, actually.
I get it. Brandon Lugo says, the Blues price is way too high. What we've seen out of Schwartz is Schwartz has changed the entire series. Now, I do believe in the veterans on the Sharks bench. I do believe that they can step up. I love Vlasic and Brent Burns. I hope that Karlsson's not on the ice. I do think that was Dylan's fault for not doing anything. We're all blaming Karlsson for that turnover. I do think that was Dylan's fault, but we don't need to talk about that. I understand your play on St. Louis. I completely understand it. I'm going to sit back and pray for the Sharks. Daryl Lyles is on the under. There's Maxwell Smart in the house. Man, we've missed that guy. I love that guy so much. Don Marino says Sharks have to play more conservative with Karlsson hurt. I think they will. I think they'll play extremely conservative. I think that the under is a play that makes sense, but if the game gets away from the Sharks, if it's 2-0 for the Blues, then I think this game ends up going over. I think the Sharks start, really cheating. And I think that your play makes a ton of sense. Team Money liking the over. Dion Davis liking the over. Vaughn Burgess liking the over. Torino says Jones is playing well. He gave up 2 goals in game 4, and in game 5 he only gave up 2 goals in 5-on-5 before the late goal. I didn't hate it. It certainly was not Martin Jones' fault that last game. He could have probably had a better angle on that one-timer, but I'm not gonna make a move on this game. I'm gonna be cheering for the Sharks. I can't compare this to the Game 6 in Vegas because they're not healthy. We'll have more information on their health come the late show. But I can completely understand your play on the Blues on the -1 line. I think that is a smart move to take them on the -1 line. Or regulation, or -1. I don't think I'd bother with the -1.5. I think I'd take a -1 in regulation. I think it's a good move. Is that your only play on this game?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at a total, right? The only way Sharks have any type of chance here to do anything is to play completely locked down defense. The thing is that they've been abused. It's like once St. Louis gets into that forecheck, they just fucking punish these guys. So I think that if the Sharks implement what they need to do in order to try to be competitive and win this game, it should probably go under. It should be a little bit of a tighter affair. But we know what happens in the third period, right? And especially in this everything on the line game, we know the Sharks are players, right? They're guys who have heart. There is soul in that team. And I think that they're a type of team that would take out Martin Jones with like 5 minutes left in this last series to give it one last hurrah. I mean, they got to be thinking our bodies are abused. We got to give it one more shot here. This is our chance. And this shit could like fly over 4 goals in the third period. So I'm laying off a side. I would lean sort of an under, but my only play would be -1. I think St. Louis gets the job done here.
Yeah, let's see. Gate pass. Lamont Williams, shout out for catching that Portland +3.5. I was greedy, and I get nothing. Gate pass key says, yeah, the over makes sense. Any team down 2 with 5 minutes left, they have to pull the goalie. Could exchange 3 goals last few minutes. I hear that. Well, let's move on. And Tomer says, Sharks were embarrassing game 5. I don't see them going out in a game that isn't close. I'll take the +140. Yeah, I mean, I just have too much on the line futures-wise. I mean, if they lose this, I'm not in horrific trouble because of the hedging. But I think that the Sharks can step up here. I hope that Carlson's not on the ice. I hope Carlson stays in San Jose and gets treatment. And I'm just going to focus on the Sharks are a dangerous dog. They have heart. Kane's the only one throwing his weight around. And Burns. Brent Burns. Thank God they have him. But he has done nothing offensively in the series. Brent Burns needs to step up offensively. The power play has to step up offensively. They have to play tighter. I think it's possible. Let's get some looks from you on this big MLB card. Poppy, what's the first game that you're looking at?
I got a couple plays. I looked at everything here, man. Is there anything you wanted to touch on real quick?
No, I'd like you to lead, and then I'll hammer the rest of them.
Cool. So let's start. Washington Nationals versus the Mets. Is the general manager going to get fired? I don't think so. But let's give it a week and see how this game plays out, because a lot of things could change, right? We got Wheeler at the mound versus Betty coming out of the bullpen for the opposing team. Wheeler, 3 games, 15 innings versus Washington. 17 runs in 5 innings, 10 walks, a 355 BABIP on the season, 10 Ks per 9. He's a strikeout pitcher, but too much hard contact. And hard contact against a team that abused you in the past, and a Nats team that is now heating up a little bit on the other side, 812 OPS during this past week. It looks a little bit scary. I don't really understand why this line's at 7.5. And I don't want to lean aside with Washington because, Jesus, that's a bullpen that was made from, I don't know. I don't know who fucking organized that, but Jesus Christ, they got to fix something over there. We got Mets who are batting 781 despite being sub 650 during this past week, 781 at home. And the Mets bullpen has definitely got a little better, but remember that if it's like a 4-0 game and it's 7th period and Mr. Doolittle and co come out for Washington, shit, I'd be holding my seat if I had a under there. So I think that Nats, with the history that they've had against Wheeler, with the fact that Wheeler is very vulnerable with balls in play, and the fact that Fetty coming out of the bullpen on the other side here, yeah, he's been decent, but The thing, he's got an xFIP of 4.48. He's getting lucky. He is not somebody to be trusted here. And he got diced up the other week by the Mets in like 2 1/3, even though he scored him pitchless when he came out of the inning the prior day. He also got blasted by them last year. So I think it's an easy over. And I really like the Nats team total over 3.5 and minus 105. So that's Nats team total over 3.5 plus full game over 7.5 at minus 110. Those are 2 plays from here.
Wow, Poppy going against the market move, taking Nats team total over 3.5
Absolutely.
and the over 7.5. It's 69 Fahrenheit, not that cold, but very windy conditions around Major League Baseball today. And this is one of those situations, 14 miles per hour in. From a pitching standpoint, if you take the weather out of this, I can understand why you'd like the over, but going up against the market, I think, is dangerous. But I get it. I absolutely get it. Hey says Mets bats suck. I get it. There's our guy Jeff Joseph said, was up in the cottage country for the holiday, got away from the betting madness, feel refreshed. Might work for you. Clear your head for a couple days. Jeff, what happens to the show? What happens to the show if I fuck off, Jeff? And I haven't seen the beach in a long time. You're right, though. Okay, Nationals, Mets. I'm afraid to go against the market move, but I can understand why you're doing it. Neither team hits right as hard.
I get the win situation is just, it's not significant enough that it's going to impact the game by like 4 runs. You know what I mean? I think that there's a lot more that goes into that weather factoring besides 14 miles per hour wind. And just based on historical stats, it's over. It's over analyzed, but it's definitely relevant, and it's at Citi Field, which is a pitcher-friendly park. So I get it too. I get both sides, but we're on it. We're on.
And T Money says like that over 3.5. Like it a lot. Like it a lot. What else are you looking at on this card?
I had like 3 games. I'm gonna just go with another easy one here. St. Louis, Homer Bailey. Yeah, Homer Bailey started off decent, but he looked like old Homer Bailey again. The reason that I think St. Louis has a chance to really smash them out, I mean, they've dropped the 13 of the last 17 games they played, and this is an interleague game. They just played an interleague games series versus Texas, where they they lost that one, but they're still alive to throw up runs. There's .748 OPS in the last 8 games. They're still alive, and throughout the season, although Homer Bailey's gone to the mound 9 times, impressive already, and he's issued 20 walks in 45 innings. So with these St. Louis bats that are so live, that's trouble. And I'm going to tell you why that's big trouble. You got to remember, man, Homer Bailey's on the Reds, right? This is NL Central. So he knows these St. Louis Cardinals a lot, right? He went 6-15 with the 5.56 ERA in the 27 games he's played. And what's really, really alarming is that Carpenter, I can't even start. I don't even know the whole lineup. DeJong, Fowler, Goldschmidt, Molina, Martinez, Wong, Carpenter, all over .333 batting average with home runs each in double-digit plate appearances. So that being said, Homer Bailey is going to get crushed, and I got a team total at 4.5 minus 125. That's a no-brainer. I think that the Kansas City bullpen, although they have 1 or 2 solid guys, they're still one of the worst as far as batting averages allowed. I think they're .271, and that's probably good enough to be the 26th or 27th worst in the league. So I got to say that Homer Bailey is part of the fate. It's also the entire Royals bullpen. And with these live bats and just the experience that these Cardinals have against Homer Bailey and proven that they can smash him out, I could go 4.5 team total over on the Cardinals, minus 125 for the day.
I get it. I get that Cardinals team total over. I'm going to write this here, Poppy. Team total over 4.5, minus 125. I get it. I don't know if that game's going to go off. It seems like pretty dangerous weather in that area. MVP Sportsbook says Homer pitches a gem tonight. It's funny that this total's gone from 9.5 to 9. I think Waka, to me, looks more vulnerable this year than Homer Bailey, but you're saying that the Cardinals bats are so much more dangerous than the Royals bats, and that makes a ton of sense. Sense.
I mean, the Cardinals bats have so much experience. You know what I'm saying? Waka's not good, so a full game look at the over as well. But yeah, you're right. That's some dangerous situations going on in the Midwest over there with the weather. That's something to be a little more concerned about than whatever 12 miles per hour winds in New York.
I hear you. I hear you. I get the play. I completely get the play. I'm going to wait a little bit closer to game time to get an idea of what the weather is going to be like. But that makes sense. Poppy on another team total over 4.5 minus 125. What else are you looking at on this card?
With the Rockies game, I definitely lean towards the Rockies because of the way that Marquez has been and the fact that they could take advantage of Archer, who is probably got the worst year of career as far as getting people on base. And we know that Marquez really struggled on the road during like 2016, 2017, but he really corrected himself by getting more ground ball outs. The ground ball out to fly out ratio is much better for him now. So he's doing better on the road. And also he's doing a little bit decent at home. I mean, he's still getting kind of crushed. He's got to figure something out over there. But I think that Colorado can take a little bit of advantage of Chris Archer. I'm going to wait a little bit, see where this goes, but I'm probably leaning definitely towards Rockies, despite them being, sub 650 on the road so far. I think that they can do something against them here.
I agree. I already jumped on the Rockies on the -1 line. I got -116. That's a -1.5 at plus 150. That's available at Harriet. Sorry, what did I get here? That's not true. Sorry. I got plus 116. Excuse me. Plus 116 on the Rockies on the -1. That's a -116 at Pinnacle Money Line and a plus 150 at Heritage Run Line, which gave me a plus 116. I agree. I really feel, Lamont Williams, I did not get your max bet. Could you please let me know? Because I know you smashed it yesterday. Shout out to Bob Berube in the house. Love seeing that. I think that Archer is just very vulnerable right now. He looked terrible in his first game off the IL. We were fading him there with Arizona. We doubled up there. We have to go right back to the well. Speaking of baseball, I must, for reasons of transparency, I'm in a huge tailspin right now in baseball, as per usual. As per fucking usual. Can you pop up the MLB record? It looks awful right now. I had that down to 11 units under, and now I'm back up to 19.95. Went 1-4 yesterday. Can't believe the Mariners got 7 runs in the last 2 innings to fuck me. I can't believe it. But yes, here with the Rockies, I agree completely. The Rockies have lost 4 straight. They're not looking good. And now this Pittsburgh team has to come all the way from San Diego. And I love fading a team first game back after a long road trip. And it was a great road trip for them. They went 7-4. Bell is smashing the ball. But I like to back Marquez here. He's 2.55 ERA on the road, like you said. 4 career starts against the Pirates, 3-1, 3.00 ERA, 27 strikeouts. And that's 2-0 with a 2.45 ERA and 2 starts at PNC Park. This team has been hanging out together. And I think they're going to take care of business. Oh, here we got Lamont Williams, max bet. There we go. I'm going to copy and paste that. Copy and paste that. Thank you, Lamont. These guys, their max bets have been cashing. So copy and paste that. And then I'm already on them on the -1. I'm going to take them -0.5 in the first 5 here. And for the Rockies, -0.5. I'm getting plus 105. And that's across the board. 5 dimes, bookmaker, bet online, Bovada, Heritage. And Bet365 still not giving them. But I'm going to jump on that -0.5. First 5 at plus 105. I agree with that. Look, anything else you're looking at on the card, Poppy?
Yeah, I'm probably going to make a move on Red Sox team total over as well. Bats went to sleep over the weekend. We saw they took a little bit of Adderall and got a little bit lit yesterday against the Blue Jays. And we got to remember, Stroman's doing real well right now. But Bogarts, Moreland, Steve Pearce, Vasquez, Benintendi, all over 400 batting averages, almost 10 at-bats each, multiple homers. This looks like a game that they can do something damage-wise. I'm going to also wait a little bit to see where that line is. So not official, but definitely leading Red Sox team total over here. I'll have some more stuff later as well, Jim.
I love it, Poppy. You are a huge asset to us. Love having these Tuesdays with you, my guy. Where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Poppy_Parlay. You know it is Tuesday. Getting right back to work after this to take work off early to get lit with the low back fam. Coors Light. Bad decisions at night. And I'm stocked up with tissues for the girls in the morning. With the daddy issues, I'm ready, Jimmy. I'm ready to cash some buck and do some weird shit tonight. I'll catch you on the late show later on.
I love it. Cash some tickets and do some weird shit. The Parlay Poppy story. I love it, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. Shout out to our guy Parlay Poppy in the house. And let's start hammering this card because we have 8 minutes before we are joined by Drew Martin. And there's King Rail coming in with some prop bets. Here we go. Over 26.5 points and Lopez over 1.5 assists. Very interesting stuff here. I will copy and paste that. Thank you for sharing that with us, King. And Lamont Williams' max bet is New York Yankees run line and full game under 9.5. Okay, let's start just rolling through these games as fast as possible, and then we'll have Drew Martin joining us. Let's start with A's Indians here. With the A's Indians, let's get to money lines and spreads full game. Should be spread and total or money lines and totals. Okay, here we go. The first game that pops off today, it starts 40 minutes into our late show. Bassett Bauer. Total opens at 8. Wow. Oh, again, I'm going to stop looking at Bet365 because that's off. Okay, so opens at 8. Now it's at 8.5. The Indians open at minus 155, and Pinnacle has taken them all the way down to minus 122. So is BetOnline. BetOnline just brought them down to minus 122. Big bets coming in on the Oakland A's right now. Big bets coming in on the Oakland A's. Interesting stuff. Let's see, did Dave L.A.? No, he didn't have anybody. He's on Rockies' money line. Don't see anybody making a move on this game at this point. Okay, let's break it down quickly. There's Hunter Engelhardt. Okay, Hunter Engelhardt is A's Indians first half under 4.5. What do we make of Bauer? Bauer has not looked good lately. Indians 14-9 at home, 59 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour in. Bauer 4-2, 3.76 ERA, 1.16 WHIP. The guy had Cy Young type numbers to start the year, and now he certainly does not. There's Von Burgess on Oakland plus 1.5. Dave Ellis says over. Bassett coming off a great start. A's are hitting just 235, 703 OPS versus righties. Bassett's look great, 1.93 ERA, 0.92 WHIP. Indians and A's struggle against righties. A's have now won 4 straight. Matt Olson homeward for the 4th time in 8 games. Profar also stepped up. Finally, he's had a bad season. Bassett just threw 7 over 8 scoreless innings against Detroit, pitching very, very well. Very well. Oakland's won 3 of 4 against Cleveland, 10 of their last 13. Trevor Bauer's getting touched out there. He's just getting touched. And Cleveland has Roberto Perez hitting now too, but their bats got quiet yesterday. CT Base has hit the A's yesterday and liked them again today. I saw you hit them at plus 170 yesterday. That was a great, great bet. Sean Glass says, remember what happened last time in this situation, Jimmy? Sean Glass, could you refresh my memory? What exactly happened last time in this situation? Big move on, oh, I feel you. Okay, big move on, okay, sorry. Team Money says Athletics win again. Dave L.A. says A's should win. I'm on the over. Wow. CT Base says A's lineup getting it together with Davis back, Olsen, Chapman. Davis is not back, though. Davis is hurting. We don't even know if Davis will be in the lineup today. Daryl Lyle says A's always get up to play Cleveland. Wow, Dave L.A. liking. And there's Lamont Williams. Thank you so much for joining us, Lamont. And we have your max bet. So Dave L.A. is leans to the A's, but is on the over. Okay, so we'll spend more time on that game. But a move we'll have to open the late show with it, and I will have to already have a bet in if I'm making a bet. I don't have a bet on that yet. Let's talk Phillies, Cubs, Eflin, Quintana. We just had a note here from Tomarino Tomor. He said, I'm on the Cubs. I've had success betting against the Phillies, against lefties. Segura is the only consistent hitter against lefties right now. Eflin is better at home. Interesting. Phillies are hitting 251, 751 OPS versus lefties. And the Cubs are smashing righties, 262, 801 OPS. Phillies have won 4 straight to move a season high, 9 games over 500. Cesar Hernandez is smashing the ball, 8 for his last 16. Eflin had 3 great starts and then did not look as good last start against the Brewers. I could understand this look on the Cubs. Yeah, David, I copied and pasted all your plays. I've got them here. Team Money says, I'm a Phillies fan and I like the Cubs tonight. Quintana's allowed 3 runs, 4 hits, 6 2/3 against the Brewers on May 10th. Faced the Phillies 4 times in his career, 0-1 with a 4.76 ERA. Chris Bryant, 6 for 10 against Eflin. Joe Vyson says, Phillies, Cubs bullpen looks sorry, but they're going to get Kishek back, right? He pitched. Wow. Ramon Scott says, wind blowing in from right field, 20 miles per hour at Wrigley. Oh, yeah, I have 18. 18 miles per hour. Tormino says that Phillies bullpen is trash. That's a lot of wind. I think that Eflin can get touched here. Let's see what we're getting. Well, no, I mean, I guess I think he can get touched a little more than Quintana gets touched. With the wind blowing in like that, I think they should be fine. We've seen it wreak havoc for some of these guys. David Ellis, Phillies are bad versus left-hand pitchers. I've said this from day one. Cubs first 5 money line. Hunter Engelhardt says Phillies pen terrible. Phillies fan here as well. Can only bet them first half. I refuse to bet them full games. Wow. Let's see what we're getting on the Cubbies here if you wanted them. Minus 133, and it's going up. There's been just a 1 cent move. I get why you'd back the Cubs here. I absolutely get why you'd back the Cubs. I think that makes sense. I think all this makes sense. We know that Brian can get to Eflin, and Kishak will be back for this game. I'll go with you guys. And here's Jim Rummy says, no less than 2 weeks ago, this chat was calling Bassett an awful pitcher. Looks like things are changing fast in sports. Even bettors can change. Good luck today, guys. Jim Rummy. Jim Rummy in the house. Love Jim Rummy in the house. Jim Rummy, you have a play on that Indians-A's game? Phillies, Cubs. I'd love to hear your action, Jim Rummy, if you do have any time. I like what you guys are saying. I think the Cubs bounce back here tonight. I'm going to take the Cubs on the -1 line. The best money line I can get is at Pinnacle at minus 133. So -1 money line is minus 133. And on the -1.5 run line, let's see what I'm getting here on the spread for the Cubbies. -1.5. Hopefully Baez will be in the lineup. Getting a plus 165 at Pinnacle. Plus 165 at Pinnacle. Okay, we're going to be joined here in a couple minutes by Drew Martin. See what games he's talking about. We have the Rockies game already locked. Let's talk Yankees Orioles. We've already heard, and Tomino says Baez out hurts more against lefties. Yeah, no, that's a great point. But he could be back. Could be back. And Hunter Engelhardt says Phillies first half or Cubs money line. MVP Sportsbook is also on the Cubs, and IPL betting is on the Cubs. First 5 money line, though. Just first 5 money line. Jeff Joseph says Cubs self-destructed last night. Agree with the bounce back. So Yankees Orioles, we've heard people on the over, people on the under. And Lamont Williams is one of those guys on the under. Max bet Yankees run line and full game under 9.5. Let's see what we're dealing with here with the Yankees Orioles. It opened as a huge Yankees favorite, understandably so. Their -1.5 is at -160. See what spreads and totals full game they are for Yankees. Yankees, Orioles open at -215. Wow. Unbelievable. A 32 cent move towards the Yankees. This total opened a little bit juiced to the over. And now it's a little bit juiced to the under. So a small move towards the under at 9.5. And Jim Rami says, anybody can watch my action, pin tweet, odds maker stats. I follow you. I know what you're doing. I know what you're up to. And I love it. Dave LA leading Yankees team total, first 5 over and full game team total over. Ramon Scott says, it looks like some steam came in on the under about 15 minutes ago. Hess versus Herman. Hess looks just awful. 14 home runs allowed in 40 in a third. He just faced this team and he got touched. He's got a 5.54 ERA this season versus the Yankees in 3 games. That's pretty much what he's done against everybody else as well at 5.58. Hess made one other start against the Yankees as a rookie. Herman's won his last 5 starts. He beat the Orioles last time out, second game of the doubleheader. 2-0, 2.95 ERA in his career against the Orioles in 4 games. He's looked great this year. He's looked great. Hess has allowed 14 homers, as I said, 4 in 6 innings during his last start against the Yankees. Torres hit his 9th and 10th homers. Gleyber, Torres, 9th and 10th homers. 8 of his 10 homers have come against the Orioles, which is nuts. Yankees are hitting 255, 788 OPS versus righties. Wait till they're healthy. 71 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour in. Ben Sports 24/7 says Yankees just put up 10 on Cashner. They only put 3 up on Cashner, but 10 up on the Orioles in that game. What do you think they're going to do to Hess? I get that. Jesse Neiman's also liking the under 9.5. Brandon Lugo says Hess gives up home runs in his sleep. Vaughn Burgess says I see this one going under. And Christopher Hogan, the stepdad's robe play of the day. Yankees to score first and over 9.5. Yankees to score first and over 9.5. I have to copy and paste the stepdad's robe play of the day. Okay. All right. So God, it's such windy conditions. Dave LA says Yankees will get runs. Trust me. Team total over. Let's take a quick look at what we get for the team total over. Let's go to Pinnacle and see what they're giving us. for the Yankees, over 5.5 at minus 127. And then first 5 for the Yankees. Let's see what it is. Yankees, first half, over 2.5 at minus 142. Over 2.5 against Hess? I mean, that's nuts. It's a ton of juice, but over 2.5? I think Hess gets touched. He just has to get touched. The Yankees have his number. The Yankees are confident. God, those team totals overs look nice. I'm going to jump on them. I agree. I think that's a good look. I'm going to jump on them right now. Yankees, first 5, team total over 2.5. I know that's heavily juiced, but I'll take it. Minus 142. Full game, team total over 5.5. Here we go. Yankees, team total over 5.5 is less juice, but 6 runs. I've always been afraid to take the 5.5s and the 6.5s, but I'm going to do it here at minus 127. All right, lock those in. All right, beautiful. Ben Sports 24/7 says, love that Yankees minus 2.5. Going to take that as well. So Bled's W's on Yankees minus 2.5. Okay. All right. Let's bring in our guy, Drew Martin Betts, representing South Florida. Love having him on the show Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Jimmy. Thanks for having me on, man. And excited to get after this MLB card. Hopefully all is well in Costa Rica. And everybody out there in the chat box, welcome in, man. And hopefully we can find some winners.
Drew Martin coming off a 2-0 day. A 2-0 day. You've been running hot on the show, without a doubt. What are you looking at on today's card?
Yeah, Jimmy, seeing it pretty well, so hopefully it keeps going. But on today's card, got SBR odds up right now. I guess towards the top of the card, a game I'm looking at, NL game, Cincinnati at Milwaukee. We got Sonny Gray versus Gio Gonzalez, the South Floridian himself. He's 2-0, 1.69 ERA, just 1 earned run versus Philadelphia and Chicago. 2 better lineups, in my opinion, than he's going to be seeing tonight. We got Sonny Gray on the other side. He's not terrible this year, Jimmy. But Cincinnati, just a 9-15 record on the road. We're getting Milwaukee under minus 140, and they're 18-6 at home. Number 1 in MLB in home runs at home. They got a lot of power. They're seeing it well there in Milwaukee. So I think Milwaukee at as low as minus 133 now. Not that big of a home favorite. I like Milwaukee at home tonight.
Milwaukee with Gio. The Brewers smash righties. The Reds don't touch lefties. Are you a believer in Gio moving forward?
You know, he's one of these veteran lefties, and we've seen it, for years now. These guys hang around in the league. He's a guy, I played against him in high school. I believe he's a year younger than me. And he's still in the league at 33 years old. And he's one of these guys that, changes his speeds well. He locates the ball well. I think that he can give you, 6 innings, 2 or 3 earned, a pretty consistent pitcher. So I'm not necessarily looking to fade him, Jimmy, but at the same time, I doubt he's going to be, lights out in his career going forward. But overall, I'm not necessarily looking to fade him, to answer your question shortly.
Yeah, he's looked good. I don't understand why the Mets didn't want him. And now they're going with Font. I guess that worked out yesterday. Reds, Brewers, this makes sense to me. This makes sense. The Brewers are rested, 16-8 at home. And money is coming in on Cincinnati, which is confusing. There's been a 7-cent move. Sorry, did I say that? Money's coming in on the Reds, being a 7-cent move, which is strange. Also, the total is now at 8.5. Pinnacle, the only ones hanging the 9. The Brewers make a ton of sense. What could the thinking be to move towards the Reds, a 7-cent move towards the Reds?
We've seen it, Cincinnati is playing better of late, so you got to kind of tip your cap there. But also Sonny Gray, his record is just 0-4, but he hasn't been terrible, so he's not necessarily a fade, at all costs himself. Since he's got out of New York, the bright lights, gone to Cincinnati, he has pitched better. I think those could be 2 reasons why. Other than that, I don't know, maybe some lineup kind of rumors, who's in, who's out for Milwaukee. But overall, sometimes, like we said yesterday, a lot of people in the chat box, saying like looking the other way because of moves, and these moves aren't always right. I mean, there's something to pay attention to notice going forward, but I don't necessarily bet them blindly. If the market's moving one way, at a lot of times it gives you a better buying point. So hopefully that's the case tonight, as I've already bet the Brewers.
Yeah, I like it. Dave LA also leaning to the over in the Milwaukee game. Jimmy Legg saying Brewers starting to play well. I'm going to back the Brew Crew as well on the -1 line. I'm getting -133. That's a bet online and 5 dimes. So money line -1.
No, you'd be getting better than -133, right? Because it's -133 just straight up money line.
Yeah, I'm just building it now. Money line -133. And for the -1.5, I'm getting +150 at 5 dimes. So the money line -133, the run line +150. And I like it. Okay, let's do it. Let's start there. Brewers -1. What else are you looking at?
All right, another one I got here. Interleague matchup: Kansas City Royals, St. Louis Cardinals. We got Bailey versus Waka. Two pitchers I don't think are very good at this point in their careers, but I guess you could make an argument the other way. I just think there's going to be a lot of runs, Jimmy. We got some stats here. Kansas City averaging 5 runs per game versus righties. They're going to be facing one tonight on the backside of his career in Michael Wacha. Also on the other on Kansas City pitching side, their bullpen, Jimmy, has 10 losses in 8 blown saves and 13 chances. Yeah, that's correct. 8 blown saves and 13 chances. You're going to the 9th inning, you're close and you're down. Don't worry, you're probably going to be all right. More than 50% of the time, literally. So that's not necessarily good from the Kansas City bullpen. Also, Waka, 26 walks in 44 innings. That's something I love to bet against, and considering both sides have pitching issues, I think that crooked numbers are going to come a bunch, and at this total at 9, I just think it's too low, and I got a unit on the over.
I get that. There's been a lot. So this is a report from the KMOV4 in St. Louis. Says if the severe weather is significant, they will postpone the game against the Royals, and if that happens during the game, the fans will be moved to designated storm shelters inside the stadium, and Busch Stadium is a certified storm shelter. So I'm going to wait a little bit. It sounds like there's some really, really bad weather coming their way, 60, 70-mile gusts and possible tornadoes and stuff like that. So a lot of people talking about the over. Parlay Poppy on the team total over 4.5 for the Cardinals. Mr. Gokster says I'm on that, Drew. But at this point, and Dave Ellie says I'm on that over 9. At this point, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I would rather spend more time in the afternoon. Knowing what you're on will help the capping. Let's see, has there been any movement on this total with the weather so strange? Yeah, so it opened heavily juiced to the under at 9.5. And now it's just at 9 across the board. So I'm going to wait a little time and see. But the over makes a ton of sense there. It makes a ton of sense. Walker's looked terrible. Bailey is not look well. I mean, Bailey's looked like Bailey. What else are you looking at on the card?
Yeah, shout out to Hunter in the chat box. He's a guy that actually is on that too. He wrote it up, so shout out to him. We got Atlanta, San Francisco. This one, Atlanta just made a trade in the bullpen. A guy, Anthony Swarzak, you bring up South Florida. He played down here as well. I just think a lot of people are pointing towards that on helping him, but he's got over a 5 ERA this year, and I just don't think he's very talented at this point in his career. Also, the Braves, like yesterday, I was on them going the first game on the West Coast trip. This is the second game now after that long travel spot. So this is a spot that I actually look to fade this. It's just, are the Giants good enough at this price point? Pretty much a pick 'em price right now. The Braves are playing very well. It's something that just spot wise, I'm looking to fade the Braves. But are the Giants good enough to cover this? Not really sure. So it's a game I just wanted to bring up. I haven't bet it yet. It's a game that I'm actually looking to be on the San Francisco Giants, Jimmy, just because of the spot wise. But it's a matter of if they're good enough. I haven't really pulled the trigger, so to speak. I don't know if I have the balls to get there with the Giants.
Not following you guys on the Braves yesterday was a mistake that I made. Teheran and the Braves have now taken 13-cent move, towards the Giants. Giants opening at plus 115 and now at plus 102. So a 13-cent move towards the Giants and Sean Anderson. Dave LA says, be careful with Braves. They're saying they might rest players today. I lean Giants money line. Interesting stuff. And also back to that St. Louis spot, Sean Watson says, Jimmy, bad weather is an understatement. They have issued this type of warning twice in the last 25 years. So it's very dangerous stuff going out there. And then there's going to be Busch Stadium, and then Enterprise Arena is going to be full with the Blues Sharks game. So scary stuff happening in St. Louis. Trey Parker says, for your information, Braves are 8-2 since they moved Acuna back to the top of the lineup. Yeah, I'm going to be very interested to hear what Nutflush Allen has to say about that. I guess what we're seeing and what we're hearing from Dave LA and thinking about the travel spot and resting players, that if you want the Giants, you should probably get them now if you have faith in this team rested can beat a tired Braves team missing possibly a Freeman or a Acuna. And I don't know if I'd have the balls to do that. DJ said they were saying that yesterday about the Braves. I'm taking them again today. Scared money don't make no money. It was a mistake. There's no doubt about it. It was a mistake by me not backing the Braves. They're just so much better than the Giants. What else are you looking at on today's card, Drew?
As far as the two bets, it's Milwaukee and the over in the Kansas City St. Louis game. I got a unit on the Kansas City St. Louis over. Also got a half a unit on Milwaukee at home on the money line. I guess you could look towards the run line if you're looking to save. I just don't like run line home favorites. As far as that, Jimmy, that's what I got. I was also looking to kind of fade Kershaw, but I've been burnt twice fading him. So that Dodgers lineup at minus 140 is always worth a look. Tampa Bay, one of the better teams at home, catching some plus money there is worth a look. Other than that, LA Angels at home, minus 110 to minus 115. As far as team OPS discrepancy from home away, anytime they're at home, I'm looking to be on them. Also, the Twins have been hot, but in the recent past, they're not as good. So might be a kind of sell high opportunity on the Twins. So looking towards the Angels at home there. Other than that, Jimmy, that's really all I got on today's card.
Well, let's talk about some of these games that you bring up. First off, let's talk about Dodgers, Rays, Kershaw, Wood. Kershaw's not looked good in his last few starts, but the Dodgers have won, 14 straight starts of his. Dodgers smash righties. 252, 800 OPS. And the Rays' numbers against lefties keep dropping. 233, 691 OPS. Going to see Hunter, Wood, another situation where the Rays are going with an opener. Kershaw, 3.40 ERA, 0.96 whip. 7 home runs allowed in 39 and 2/3. Dodgers are just 12-11 away from LA. Kershaw making his very first start at Tropicana. In 3 May starts, Kershaw has a 4.58 ERA. He's allowed 5 home runs in those 3 starts. I wonder if fading Kershaw is an interesting look here on today's card, but I just wish these Rays hit lefties harder, and I'd love to, but they don't hit lefties hard at all. They don't get to lefties. But there has been a 7-cent move towards the Rays on today's card. So, yeah, does that push you in any direction after hearing that stuff?
Yeah, I wish that Tampa Bay hit lefties harder as well. Kershaw, I'm definitely not looking to bet on him at this point in his career. Just the velocity's down. And, look, you can see it here, minus 140 against one of the better teams in MLB on the road. It's his name. It's the Dodgers lineup. And that Dodgers lineup, they're good. And I think I faded him the last 2 times, maybe the last 3 times he's pitched. I believe 0-2 or 0-3. And it's because this lineup just smashes the opposing pitchers. So it's a really tough thing to kind of go against. Maybe when Kershaw's on the hill, look towards the over. Probably would have had a little more money in my pocket right now. I'm definitely not looking to bet on him, and it's just a matter of if Tampa Bay can put it up. Also, you brought up the fact that this first time pitching in Tropicana. I don't think that's a bet on kind of situation right there. That kind of crap hole of a stadium. Lighting's not very good. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a first time there somebody would pitch very well, as opposed to just being at a normal ballpark.
Jonathan Nelson says Kershaw pitching well. I get over the course of the season he's been okay, but the last few games he's not looked very good. DJ Big Boss, who knows his team inside and out, says I'm waiting for Kershaw to bust. Dave LA's on the Dodgers -1, -115. Ramon Scott says Tampa's 9-4 against lefties. Rays and the over 9-4 against lefties, even though they're only 233, 691 OPS for lefties. That goes to show you what a great baseball team the Rays are. Dave LA says Dodgers bats are way better than Rays bats. Kershaw will have great run support. And Ron Walsek, my guy Ron Walsek, says Rays bullpen starting to regress due to Glasnow being out and Snell injury 2 weeks ago. That's a good point. Young Huss says Rays not hitting at all this month. To be honest, even though Kershaw hasn't looked as good lately, I feel like the way the Dodgers hit righties, the way we know it's going to be a Rays bullpen day, and the bullpen hasn't looked quite as good lately. Let's take a look at those bullpen stats right now for Tampa Bay. Still real nice. Still real nice. I wonder if we could just see. Oh, no, we can't here. Let me get. I can't get a split for the last week or 2 weeks or anything. I can get that later. Deion Davis on Rays run line. And DJ Big Boss saying Tampa Bay team total over may be the best play. I'm going to have to take some time on that. Let's keep rolling down the line because we have a couple more minutes. We've got to shut this show down in a couple minutes. Marlins, Tigers, Caleb Smith for Spencer Turnbull. 61 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour, sideways. Tigers have lost 6 straight. They're chasing pitches out of the zone. But this Marlins team's won 3 straight. It's an interesting dynamic here when you have such a bad team like the Marlins, but they're starting to win games. Let's see what we'll get for Detroit, Miami. Here we go. Sorry, just doing a little line shopping here. So the total opened at 8. It's now 7.5 across the board. And then Miami opened at -110. There's been a 4-cent move towards the Tigers, and that makes sense to me. The Tigers hit lefties much better than righties. Marlins are still 214, 586 OPS. The Tigers are basically 200 OPS points higher against lefties than the Marlins are against righties. And I know Turnbull coming off his shortest outing of the season, but he's looked good this year. And Smith tagged for his first loss last start on Tuesday. Allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, and 5 1/3 against Tampa Bay. Another spot where Tampa Bay won against the lefty. Team Money says Tigers team total under 3.5. Von Burgess on the under. Would you have any feel or any lean towards this Marlins at Tigers spot, Drew?
I'm seeing the 7.5 kind of lean under at first glance. You bring up the fact that Detroit, facing lefties is a lot better, and that's one thing that keeps me off of the Marlins side, just because they can't hit. But with Caleb Smith on the hill, I don't want to fade this guy, man. He is good. He's really good. It's tough to make money going against him. So I would point towards the under. Turnbull is a guy I haven't really seen a lot of. I did, just doing quick research on it, see that he didn't have a very good outing last time, but the velocity was still there. I didn't see anything to point towards an injury. So it is something to look towards the Tigers side because of their OPS numbers against lefties. It would point me towards the under, maybe first 5 under, but that's the only way I would look at this one.
Yeah, going to have to spend more time on this card. We will be hammering it hard on the late show. T-Money says Caleb Smith is a beast. Eric Jones says first 5 under in this game. I guess that's a nice look. I kind of lean towards the Tigers. Let's see what we get first 5 total here. Marlins, Tigers, quickly. Here we go. It's a 3.5. I don't like those 3.5s. Ron Wall said Caleb Smith over the strikeout total. Hope it's at 7.5. That's a great call, Ron, because this Tigers team is just swinging and missing nonstop. And Thompson says Marlins adding a DH of crap batters, which is true. And Big Ragu already bet the under 4 at even. Good work, Big Ragu. Way to beat that line move, Elio, on the Tigers. And then there's our guy, DJ Big Boss. He's mailing Joe Anisi the trophy for the Big Boss competition that he does each week. He mails out the trophy each week. Man, I love that shit, DJ Big Boss. I'm in the contest. I know I haven't been, just a little overwhelmed with the horses and stuff, but I'm in. I'm going to sign up for your contest today and can't wait to have you on the Late Show. Drew, thank you so much for joining us. Great work. Do you want to go once over your official plays? Let us know where we can find you on Twitter and what other shows you got going on this week.
Yeah, sure. I only got 2 locked in right now, and yesterday went with 2, so hopefully can keep it going. But on Milwaukee, minus 133 in the 7:40 first pitch, and also Kansas City Royals, St. Louis Cardinals over the total a little later in the day, 8:15 Eastern in the inner leg. Got a half a unit on that, but for record keeping, those 2 plays, I'm on Milwaukee and Kansas City, St. Louis over. And on Twitter, at Drew Martin Bets. Feel free to reach out. Any questions whatsoever. I'll be on tomorrow around 11:45 a.m. Eastern as well on here. So excited to get back with you tomorrow, Jimmy.
Yeah, I love having you on the show. The more I read about what's going on in St. Louis, the more I expect them to cancel that baseball game. But if they don't, I can completely understand the looks that you guys are on. All right, Keem's the man joining us. Says, I learned the hard way yesterday. Always go with the taint. Always. Well put. Steven Esposito says, Jimmy, give me the Diamondbacks, Rockies, and the Brew Crew. That's great because I'm on the Rockies and Brew Crew. I'm going to look more into that Diamondbacks game. And then Antoine Seymour says, Jimmy, I'll have some props on the Late Show. Drew, thank you so much for joining us. Let's have a big afternoon of study. We got no afternoon action unless you're taking the Romanian soccer play that our guy, Angel Romero, dropped on the early show. And I thought I copied and pasted, but I must not have. So that's what's up. That's what's up. Christopher Hogan's stepdad's road play of the day is Yankees to score first and over 9.5. And then the Taint play of the day is KC St. Louis over 9, which is the play that Drew likes and Dave LA likes. Speaking of Dave LA, the hell, I thought I copied. Oh, yeah. I thought I copied up. Yes, there's Dave LA. He's on KC St. Louis over 9. A's Indians over 8.5. He's on the Diamondbacks money line minus 110. Dodgers minus 1 at minus 115. The Rockies money line at minus 110. And then my place, I will be on the Raptors tonight, but I'm going to wait for that money line to go up further, which I expect it to do. Also, I think if you like the Bucks tonight, I don't know why you wouldn't just take the Bucks to win in 5. I think that would be a more valuable bet. We'll go over all those plays on the Late Show with Ski Profit. But I'm on the Cubs minus 1. I'm on the Rockies, first 5 minus a half, and full game minus 1. I'm on the Yankees, first 5 team total over, 2.5 minus 142, full game team total over, 5.5 minus 127. And then I think I have one more play. No, Poppy's on the Nats team total over. Yes, I'm on the Brewers minus 1. That is my action. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you to our guest, Drew Martin. Much love to you guys. Let's get that cash. Let's have a big afternoon of study, and I'll see you guys on the Late Show, where we're joined by DJ Big Boss and Ski Profit. Leche, Halos Bookmakers!